She changed every part of me to fit her life, but I found myself in the pieces she left behind. 5 years ago, we were the two smartest people in the computer science department. But while Maya was gunning for valedictorian, I was just trying to get through the day. I wasn't just lazy, I was heavy. Getting out of bed felt like lifting weights. I did the bare minimum because that's all the energy I had. I was smart enough to coast, so I did. We met during a sophomore year group project, a compiler construction course that ruined most people's GPAs. I was the guy who goes to the group chat for 3 weeks, ignoring Maya's increasingly frantic pings. Then, the night before the deadline, I showed up at the library with a 4-pack of Red Bull and the entire finished codebase on a flash drive. Maya looked at my code, then at me. I already finished the project because I didn't trust you, she said, scrolling through my code. But this, the recursion logic here, it's actually cleaner than mine. You're a genius, Alex. I'm efficient, I muttered, crashing onto the library sofa. I just wanted to get it over with. That was the bond. Maya was high-strung, meticulously driven, always chasing the next accolade. I was the guy who reminded her that none of it really mattered. She'd come over to my off-campus apartment to decompress, which meant screaming at the TV while we played games until 3 a.m. She was the tactician. I was the guy who just wanted to lose himself in a screen so he didn't have to think about real life. We were a perfect team. Then came graduation, and then came Chloe. It was a grad party. Maya dragged me there because she said isolating myself in my room was unhealthy. I was standing by the keg, nursing a warm beer, wishing I could teleport home. That's when Maya waved someone over. Chloe, Maya shouted over the bass. This is Alex, the guy I told you about, the one who wrote the compiler in a night. Chloe walked up. She was high definition. Perfect hair, perfect dress, eyes that looked like they were scanning a barcode. She was in marketing. She looked like she had a 5-year plan, while I barely had a plan for tomorrow. So this is the genius, Chloe said, looking me up and down. She didn't look impressed by my hoodie, but she looked interested, like she was looking at a fixer-upper house with good bones. I'm not a genius, I said, looking at my shoes. I just happen to be good with logic. He's modest, Maya said, clapping me on the shoulder. Chloe tilted her head. Maybe he just needed the push. We started dating. And looking back, she didn't fall for Alex the person. She fell for the raw material. She saw a smart, depressed guy she could mold. It started subtly. It wasn't just the clothes. It was the entire lifestyle. Babe, she said one night, taking the slice of pizza out of my hand. We're not doing this anymore. It makes you sluggish. If we want a future, you need to be around for it. She replaced my takeout with meal prep containers. Plain chicken, broccoli, brown rice. She signed us up for a gym membership I didn't want. Come on, she'd say at 5 a.m., pulling the covers off me. Endorphins are good for your mood. You'll thank me later. I hated every second of it. I hated the kale, I hated the treadmill, I hated the feeling of always being improved. But I ignored the red flags because I thought she was saving me. She cares about my health, I told myself. Nobody else ever cared enough to push me. Then came the social training. She'd drag me to mixers and networking events. Stand up straight, she'd whisper, pinching my arm when I slouched. Make eye contact, and don't talk about video games. Talk about tech trends. When I stumbled or stayed quiet, she'd squeeze my hand hard. Tell them about the compiler, Alex. She'd hiss through a smile. I felt like a show dog, but I did it. I barked on command because I wanted to be the man she saw in her head. A year later, Chloe wasn't satisfied with my entry-level dev salary. There's a senior product lead spot opening at Maya's company, Chloe said over a dinner of quinoa and sadness. It pays double what you make now. That involves managing people, I said, poking at my food. I hate managing people. I just want to code and go home. Her tone shifted. It wasn't mean, just disappointed. You're coasting, Alex. You have so much talent, and you're letting it rot, because you're scared of effort. I need a partner who builds with me. We can't buy a house on your current salary. I felt trapped. I didn't think I could get the job, even if I wanted it. My resume was a mess of short-term gigs, and my interview skills were non-existent. I called Maya. She wants me to apply for the lead role at your place, I said, pacing my living room. I'm going to embarrass myself. You won't, Maya said. Come over. Bring your laptop. Maya spent the entire weekend with me. She didn't just edit my resume. She dissected it. She took my chaotic history and spun it into a narrative of high-impact efficiency. You're not lazy, she said, deleting a paragraph. You are results-oriented. You automate workflows. We're going to lean into that. She prepped me for the interview for hours. She played the role of the scary executive. Stop saying I guess, she snapped. Say the data shows. And look me in the eye. By Monday, I was ready. I walked into Maya's company. I saw Maya in the hallway. She gave me a subtle nod. I walked into the boardroom and put on the mask Chloe carved and Maya polished. I didn't promise to work weekends. I told them how I'd streamline their bloated process so they could cut costs. They loved it. I got the job. Massive raise. Company car. Chloe beamed. See? I knew you could do it. You just needed me to force you out of your shell. She took the credit for the ambition. She ignored that Maya was the one who actually gave me the map. Cut to 3 years later. I'm successful. I wear suits. I drive a BMW. I work in the same building as Maya, but I barely see her because I'm stuck in management meetings while she's actually building things. But the depression isn't gone. It's just wearing a better watch. The apartment was beautiful. It was also a museum where I wasn't allowed to touch anything, including her. It started slow. First, it was the skincare rule. She'd spend an hour applying creams and oils, then tell me she couldn't be touched because it would clog her pores. So I stayed on my side of the king-size mattress, staring at the back of her head, feeling the distance grow in actual inches. Then came the flinching. I remember coming home after a particularly brutal 12-hour day, just needing comfort. She was standing at the kitchen island, typing furiously on her phone. I walked up behind her and wrapped my arms around her waist. She stiffened. Immediately. "Alex, stop," she said, peeling my hands off her like they were wet trash. "I'm answering emails. Don't hover." She didn't turn around. She didn't ask how my day was. We stopped kissing. It devolved into air kisses near the cheek to avoid smudging lipstick. Sex became a scheduled appointment that she canceled 9 times out of 10 because she had a migraine or felt bloated, even though I'd hear her laughing on the phone with her friends 10 minutes later. I tried to talk to her about the fog in my head. "I feel like I'm drowning," I told her once. She didn't look up from her iPad. "You need to take more vitamin D and maybe see a trainer. Endorphins help." I miss the freedom. I miss not caring. I miss being touched like I was a person, not a stain on the upholstery. And Chloe? She was bored. The renovation was complete. The house was flipped. She stopped inviting me to her events. "You've been working so hard," she'd say, checking her reflection in the hallway mirror. "Stay in. Rest. I'll go represent us." I wasn't her partner anymore. I was the provider. The boring, stable checkbook that funded her lifestyle while she lived a completely separate life. Then came the lunch. I met Maya at a quiet diner. She looked anxious. She hadn't touched her burger. "You okay?" I asked. "You look like I feel." Maya took a deep breath. She pulled her phone out and placed it face down on the table. "I shouldn't show you this," she said. "Chloe added me to this Girls of the City group chat like 2 years ago. It was when she was still trying to network and get in with my company's crowd. I think she forgot I was in there. I usually have it muted." "Okay." "I opened it this morning by accident," Maya said. Her voice was tight. "I feel guilty just knowing this, and I can't look at you without telling you." She slid the phone across the table. It was a photo. Chloe, in a bed that wasn't ours. With Ryan. I knew Ryan. He was a personal trainer. Loud, energetic, simple. Then I read the messages underneath. "Chloe, just hooked up. Don't judge, LOL. Friend 1. OMG, what about Alex? Chloe, he's great for the bills, but God, he is dull. I literally had to train him to act like an adult, and now he's just this corporate drone. I need the wallet to fund the fun." Chloe, Ryan's actual fun. Alex is just safe. I stared at it. The noise of the diner faded out. Train him. Drone. Wallet. I wasn't angry. I didn't feel rage. I felt clarity. For 3 years, I forced myself to be someone I hated because I thought it would make her happy. I put on the suit. I ate the kale. I played the part. I fought my own brain every single day to be the man she wanted. And she hated me for it. "She thinks I'm boring." I said, my voice flat. "She made me boring." Long pause recommended. Maya reached out and touched my hand. "She made you miserable. There's a difference." I looked at the text again. I didn't feel heavy anymore. I felt light. The contract was void. I slid the phone back to Maya. "Send me that screenshot." I didn't break down. I used the corporate efficiency she forced me to learn. I went into project management mode. I waited until she went to her spin class. I hired a moving crew. I didn't smash things. I just audited the assets. I took the 85-inch TV I paid for, the espresso machine, the Peloton, and the designer furniture. Then I called the landlord. I paid the fee to break my name off the lease. I left her as the sole tenant on a luxury apartment that cost 3 times her salary. I canceled the joint credit cards. I canceled the upcoming vacation to Bali. I left the apartment completely empty, except for a folding chair and a single printed page on the floor. The screenshot of her chat. She stormed into my office lobby 2 days later. "You emptied the apartment. You canceled the cards." I walked out to meet her. I didn't look like the senior lead. I wasn't smiling. I wasn't masking. You left me with nothing, she shrieked. I left you with exactly what you had when you met me, I said. Potential. She gaped at me. I made you. I gave you a career. I fixed you. No, I said, and for the first time in years, I was speaking the absolute truth. You bullied a depressed guy into a suit so you could buy things. I'm quitting the job today, by the way, so I hope you enjoy the ride. I turned around and walked away. She was screaming at my back, but I honestly couldn't hear her. I was already thinking about going home and sleeping for a week. I moved into a small place. It wasn't a luxury condo. It was a second-floor walk-up with creaky floors and weird heating. I quit the high-stress job and took a remote consultant gig. No people, just code. But here's the thing about reprogramming. Some of the code sticks. I woke up the first morning in the new place. I wanted to stay in bed until noon. I wanted to order 3 pizzas and black out on sugar. But I didn't. I got up at 7 a.m. Not 5 a.m. like Chloe forced, but not noon either. I put on running shoes, the expensive ones she made me buy, and I went for a run. I didn't do it to stay skinny for her Instagram photos. I did it because the endorphins actually kept the dark fog at bay. I went grocery shopping. I bought frozen pizzas, yeah, but I also bought chicken and spinach. I realized that while I hated her controlling the menu, I actually felt like trash when I only ate trash. I looked in my closet. I threw away the stiff, uncomfortable suits. But I didn't go back to the baggy, tattered hoodies of college. I bought nice jeans. I opted for fitted t-shirts that felt like me, but looked like an adult. I realized that Chloe wasn't wrong about everything. She was just wrong about why. She wanted a trophy. I just needed to take care of myself. I was becoming a better man, but this time I was doing it for Alex, not for the director. The first month was strange. It was like learning to walk after wearing a cast for 3 years. I'd be sitting on my new, cheap couch, playing a video game at 8 p.m., and suddenly my heart would race. I'd have this Pavlovian panic response, expecting the door to open and Chloe to walk in, sighing about how I was wasting my potential. I put the controller down, guilt flooding my chest. Then I'd remember. She wasn't coming. Maya helped me calibrate. She came over 3 nights a week, but not to fix me, just to be there. We went furniture shopping. Chloe would have dragged me to a boutique where a single pillow costs more than a PlayStation. Maya took me to a warehouse outlet. That one looks hideous, Maya said, pointing to a massive, overstuffed sectional. It looks like a marshmallow that gave up. It's perfect, I said. I sat on it. I sank in about 6 inches. Sit. Maya rolled her eyes but sat down next to me. She sank in too. Okay, she admitted. I might never stand up again. Sold, I told the salesman. We spent the rest of the day assembling flat-pack coffee tables and arguing over where to put the TV. It was domestic. It was easy, and it scared the hell out of me. I caught myself watching her while she was screwing a table leg in. Her hair was messy, tied back with a rubber band. She was swearing at a screw that wouldn't thread. I felt a pang in my chest. Not friendship. Something sharper. I looked away immediately. Don't, I told myself. You're a mess. She's your friend. Don't ruin the only good thing you have left. A few weeks later, I was deep in a personal project. I was building a mod for one of our favorite games. Something stupid, just rewriting the gravity logic to create zero-G ragdolls. Maya came over, tossed her bag on the floor, and leaned over my shoulder. That line is redundant, she said, pointing at the screen. It's stylistic, I argued, not looking up. It's sloppy, she countered, grabbing a spare chair and pulling it up next to me. Move over. Let me show you how a real engineer does it. We spent the next 4 hours coding. We argued. We debated logic loops. We insulted each other's syntax. Finally, around midnight, we ordered pizza. You know, Maya said, picking a pepperoni off her slice. I miss this. The Chloe version of you wouldn't have built a bouncing physics mod. He would have built a productivity app. The Chloe version of me was boring, I said. He was tired, she corrected. But he's waking up. She looked at me, her eyes reflecting the blue light of the monitors. I'm glad you're waking up, Alex. I felt that pang again. Stronger this time. I want to tell her that she was the alarm clock. But the guilt was still there, whispering that I was just using her to fill the void Chloe left. Maya came over after work the next Friday. She looked wrecked. Dark circles, slumped shoulders. Rough day, I asked. Project manager is an idiot, she groaned, collapsing onto the marshmallow couch. I just want to eat garbage and pass out. I got you, I said. I went to the kitchen. Old Alex would have ordered greasy takeout. Chloe's Alex would have made a kale salad with lemon water. I made a stir-fry. Chicken, tons of vegetables, but with a rich, spicy peanut sauce and actual white rice. When I set the bowl down in front of her, she stared at it. What is this? She asked. Dinner, I said. It's not garbage, but it tastes like it. She took a bite. Her eyes closed. Oh my God. You cooked. Like actual food. I learned a few things. I shrugged. Turns out food can be fuel and taste good. Who knew? She looked at me then. Really looked at me. You're different, Alex. The good kind of different. You're not the zombie you were in college, but you're not the robot Chloe made either. You are balanced. I'm trying, I said. It suits you, she said softly. The air in the room got thin. She was smiling at me, a genuine, tired, happy smile. I wanted to lean in. I wanted to tell her that she was the reason I was trying. But then the guilt hit me like a physical blow. I was the guy who let his ex-girlfriend ban his best friend. I was the guy who needed saving. I didn't deserve to lean in. I'll get the controllers, I said abruptly, standing up and turning my back on her. I downloaded that new patch. The guilt didn't go away. It festered. I convinced myself that I was toxic, that I needed to protect Maya from my mess. One night, we were ordering takeout. We should try that new Thai place, Maya said, leaning over my shoulder to look at my phone. Her cheek brushed mine. I flinched, not because I didn't like it, but because I liked it too much. It felt unearned. I pulled away sharply. I'm ordering pizza, I snapped. My voice was harsher than I intended. Maya pulled back, confused. Okay, pizza is fine. You don't have to bite my head off. I don't want to try new things right now, I muttered, staring at the screen so I didn't have to see her hurt face. I just want things to be simple. Simple is fine, she said quietly. She sat on the other side of the room that night. The distance between us on the couch felt like a canyon I had dug with my own hands. I played terribly. I kept missing shots. Maya didn't say anything, which was worse than if she had yelled at me. After she left, I stared at the door. I realized I was doing exactly what Chloe did, creating distance to maintain control. Except Chloe did it to manipulate. I was doing it out of fear. I kept the wall up for another week. Maya, being Maya, ignored it. She just kept showing up. Then came the rainy Tuesday. We were playing an old co-op shooter. We were on the final level, a level we'd never beaten in college because we always panicked at the end. This time was different. I wasn't panicking. On your left, Maya shouted. Got him, I replied, calm, covering her flank. Move up, I have your shield. We moved like a single unit. No wasted motion. Just pure sync. We beat the boss. The screen flashed victory. We both jumped up. I turned to high-five her, but she tackled me in a hug. We fell back onto the beanbags, laughing, breathless. For a second, we just laid there, tangled up. The laughter died down. The room went quiet. I looked at her. She was looking at me with an expression I was terrified to read. Hope, don't do it, the voice in my head warned. You're not ready. You'll ruin this. I started to pull away. Good game, I said, retreating to safety. Maya didn't let go of my arm. Alex, she said. Her voice was steady. Stop running. I'm not running, I lied. I'm just tired. You're guilty, she said. You think because you let Chloe change you, you're broken. You think you don't deserve this. I froze. She read me perfectly. I don't want to use you, Maya, I whispered. I don't want you to be the rebound. You deserve better than the guy who needed a manual to learn how to be a person. I'm not the rebound, she said fiercely. I'm the one who was here before her, and I'm the one who's still here after her. You're not using me. You're just finally seeing me. She waited. She gave me the choice. Chloe never gave me a choice. Chloe told me who to be. Maya was asking me who I wanted to be. I looked at the ceiling, then slowly looked back at her. I'm still figuring out who I am, I admitted. I still eat kale sometimes. I still care about my credit score. That's fine, she smiled. I like kale. Sometimes. The wall crumbled. I leaned in. It wasn't a movie kiss. It was hesitant, terrifying, and perfect. It was the reset I actually needed. 6 months later, I'm sitting on a marshmallow couch. Maya is asleep on my shoulder. We're watching a movie. I'm wearing a fitted t-shirt and sweatpants. Balance. I feel the soft, rhythmic pressure of her breathing against my neck, a perfect, boring kind of calm. My phone buzzes. Blocked number. Ryan is fun, but he's broke. I miss stability. Can we get coffee? I look at the text. I look at Maya, drooling slightly on my sleeve. I remember the old Alex, who would have panicked. I remember the Project Alex, who would have felt smug. The real Alex just feels indifference. I delete the text. I unpause the movie. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.